Hello guys, and what's going on? I have a battle from my stream last night. It was the last battle I played. Uh, it's a pretty good replay. It's Bretonnia versus the High Elves here. We got Louen with a Paladin. These are both mounted in the air. A Life Caster Damsel to support them. We have a few Spearmen at Arms. Decent melee defense on these guys. They can hold the line pretty well, and against High Elf Spearmen, since they're both rather defensive units, they'll hold pretty effectively. I have a couple Knights of the Realm, as well as the Defenders of, I have a couple Knights Errant, as well as the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis Knights Errant, and a Knights of the Lion-Hearted Knights of the Realm as well. A Silver Chevroned Grail Knight, and like I said, Louen and his Paladin up in the air. The Paladin giving the Guardian buff to Louen, giving him 15% ward save, I believe. The Field Trebuchet, the purpose of the one Field Trebuchet is merely to bring the High Elf army towards me. I know that it outranges most of their artillery, so by bringing that, I kind of force them to come towards me and let my cav be used to more effect. I know that my cav is going to be superior to, at least in cost efficiency, to the Dragon Princes and Silver Helms of the High Elves. The High Elf Flare, what they got a bunch of Spearmen. It looks like 5 units of Spearmen, 4 units of Archers, 3 of which are Lothran Sea Guard without shields, 1 of which is just a regular Archer unit. The Fireborn and the Dragon Princes, both the Fireborn and the Dragon Princes started off hidden. This Dragon Prince is still hidden. The Fireborn are moving towards me, and I'm kind of just scouting out with Louen and the Paladin, because I know that there must be something hidden for the High Elves, because that does not, what I see right now is not a sufficient cost. I do spot the Dragon Princes with these Knights. So now I know where everything is, or what everything is. The Fireborn are trying to hide again, but I know that they are there this time. So I'm just going to pull the Trebuchet forward and go for some shots as I kind of back my cavalry up. I know what they have now, and I now have an idea for my plan of attack. These Grail Knights over here, they are hidden, and they are going to be a big part of this, because I want to kill the Dragon Princes before the infantry engages, or separate the cav fight from the infantry fight. Because as far as infantry fights go, I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily going to win, but I certainly won't win if there are Dragon Princes harassing my backline. So I need to kind of like take out his cavalry and then focus down Alariel and work it out that way. But I noticed the Fireborn and the Dragon Princes are really getting close to my hidden Grail Knights. And Grail Knights are anti-large cavalry, and they are very good at it. And so as soon as I see this guy step into the water here, I know that I can spring this trap. So I charge the Grail Knights in onto the Dragon Princes, and I charge Louen and the Paladin onto the Fireborn to break their charge. So they don't get a charge bonus off onto my Grail Knights, and these guys get a pretty clean charge onto the Dragon Princes. Sort of Corone and Stand Your Ground going down to buff up my guys. And we just start wrecking those Dragon Princes. They do pop Star of Averlorn and pull in the 2 nobles as well as Alariel, but I want to stick in there for a little bit because I know that my forces are pretty strong too. I will have an Earthblood coming in pretty soon too from my Life Caster who's coming around. I'm pulling my cav, the Knights of the Realm and the Knights Errant, back through my own forces, get them onto this side of the map, because I'm feeling this is where the bulk of the heavy hitting engagement is going to be. He does pull in some Spearmen support, but they are, my Grail Knights are on this side of the engagement, and the Spearmen are on this side of the engagement, so really they're just kind of getting into behind their own cavalry, and they're not actually touching the Grail Knights, so I'm not too worried. The Paladin and Louen are feeling a little bit stuck, so I try to path Louen out a little bit, but it's not going too well. I have, however, routed both the Fireborn and the Dragon Princes, and that's great. This is really what I wanted to accomplish here. Earthblood, nope, what was that going down? Oh, Earthblood for Alariel going down. It was an Earthblood, just not mine. Anyway, so the main line's starting to match up here. He has forgotten about a unit of Spearmen. Basically all game, he forgets about those guys. But anyways, they're just shooting my Spearmen at arms. I'm shooting their Lothran Sea Guard with my Peasant Bowmen. At least I'm about to. Trebuchet's firing. I get my cav up here ready to support this engagement. I had the Knights of the Lionhearted coming in for a side charge against these Dragon Princes who have regrouped. These guys are anti-large, not quite as good as Grail Knights, but they are pretty good for their cost. Definitely a good pick. And I'm just chasing down these Dragon Princes. I don't want them in the fight. I'm going to get a sandwich with the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, and the Knights Errant are going to go for these Archers over here, because I see that they're not Lothran Sea Guard, and they're just kind of shooting in right now. I want to take those guys out while they're completely undefended. But yeah, we come in again, and we get another really good hit on these Dragon Princes. This is like 3,500 gold, basically, for my opponent right here, that I've killed. Very strong trade. Some Spearmen at Arms of my own coming in over here just to kind of bog down their Spearmen. I was getting kind of tired of not having any infantry support in this fight, and they didn't really seem keen on engaging on this side. So I pushed my own Spearmen forward and just start shooting their... well, we're just exchanging arrows, really. It's like a wet noodle fight over there. There's not a whole lot to look at. The Paladins rallied, which is good. He did get routed off in the first engagement versus the Dragon Princes, and I kind of forget about him. It's an honest mistake there. Louen comes back in for a strike on Alarielle. Definitely want to put some damage on her. If I can stop her healing, because it seems like the nobles have separated from her, that'd be great. However, so she does just kind of get back together with the nobles, and I start charging my cav into these Lothran Sea Guard in a very bad formation. I think I was microing somewhere else. I mean, that narrow formation ain't going to do much on the charge. These guys do have a lot of anti-large, though, so they're going to be pretty decent at fighting the nobles. I'll get a rear charge and the Knights Errant into these Lothran Sea Guard to kind of make up for it. But she does pop the Star of Avalorn. Good usage here. When I see the Star of Avalorn pop, I pretty much just pull out, because there's not a whole lot of reason to fight in the Star of Avalorn. Just encourage their units to leave, because this thing lasts for a long time, and now that the Noble and Alarielle aren't in there, they aren't healing anymore. Didn't have a whole lot of healing to get, but every point counts. So now that I'm outside the fight, I'm happy to surround the Noble and Alarielle and start fighting them here with my anti-large cav. Get another rear charge of the Knights Errant, bring Louen in, and I think I bring the Paladin in pretty soon. The Damsel is just chilling over here, just casting Earthbloods down from off to the side. I mean, it probably would have been a smart idea since the Damsel's on foot. Or no, she's on a horse, never mind. I thought she was on foot for a second. And if she was on foot, or even on a horse, I mean, I feel like the nobles could goon her out so easily. She has almost no defensive stats. Anyways, the frontline engagement, I mean, it's wet noodles slapping each other here. These spearmen took almost no damage from my own spearmen and the Grail Reliquae, and they're just getting pushed back. They seem like they want to rejoin their forces over here, because I've gotten a full surround now on just Alarielle and the nobles. I mean, the rest of the cav support's gone. So now my anti-large cav gets to focus down these nobles and Alarielle, and that's pretty much going to be the game. I think that's the another Earthblood going down for Alarielle, trying to keep people alive. But the healing caps the nobles are showing, the healing cap for one noble and Alarielle are showing. This one's still pretty healthy. But yeah, I mean, this was such a fun game to play. Getting that ambush off early onto the Dragon Princes was definitely very important. Anyways, guys, I think we should do a single battle for today. Spare my internet upload. But yeah, it was definitely a fun match. The Grail Knights earning a chevron, XP rank 5. They started at XP rank 4. Putting in tons of great work. The 64 kills were, basically against Dragon Princes and Fireborn. So excellent work there. The Paladin got mismicroed. He doesn't have as much mass as Louen does on beaquis. So he can kind of get bogged down in melee, and that he suffered for that. I don't know if I would take him again if I did this. For 1,000 gold, I might prefer a Knight of the Realm or Knights Errant. I know those aren't exactly 1,000 gold, but something in that range. I think it could definitely work. I think multiple Paladins, when you have a Footlord like the Fae, makes a lot of sense because they make a pretty mobile goon squad. And I believe the Guardian effect works on each other. So something to think about there. But yeah, I mean, I think Spearmen at Arms make a good front line here. I mean, Battle Pilgrims also, but the Spearmen at Arms are really, really cheap. They're like 350 gold. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and peace off.